Here at home, runaway spending and unsustainable borrowing threaten the future of our economy. Unemployment remains high and economic growth slow. Small business employers are crippled by the tax and regulation decisions of an ever-growing government. There are things Congress can do right now to spur jobs. Cut federal spending, reform lawsuits, and block new regulations that kill jobs or restrain business loans.
Just say no. That's what U.S. Senator Mark Kirk said about raising taxes and increasing limits on spending.
Look into the camera and tell the voters, what do Illinois Republicans stand for?
Illinois Republicans stand for the principle that we want to spend less, borrow less, and tax less to fix this economy.
I appointed a sovereign debt advisory board under the leadership of Henry Feinberg to help outline the amount of money owed by our state's leaders and what they borrowed. Our conclusion in the Illinois debt report was clear. Thanks to years of high spending, massive borrowing, and anti-employer policies that drove jobs from Illinois, we're in a sad state. Today, Illinois ranks third from last among states for a bad business climate. Illinois has the worst credit rating of any state in America.
The Illinois Senator Mark Kirk is unveiling legislation that would mobilize over $100 billion in private funds to build roads, airports, and railroads.
I think we've forgotten much of our own economic history. What's the number 3 thing the Lincoln administration is known for? The Transcontinental Railway Act. As President Lincoln borrowed from everyone to expand the Union Army, he also launched the largest infrastructure program in American history. America built a 2,000-mile railroad in just 6 years, creating 7,000 towns. Under my draft Lincoln Legacy Infrastructure Development Act, we can mobilize over $100 billion for building new roads, airports, and railroads. Therefore, it is doubly important to do the work needed to reduce spending and balance the books so that we restore the vitality of a free people and their cause of expanding liberty and human dignity. As we look abroad, our challenges are no less complex. We are a nation at war with a terrorist enemy that seeks our destruction. As America winds down our mission in Iraq, our mission in Afghanistan grows more challenging by the day.
Despite steady progress against al-Qaeda and the Taliban, a new face of terror is emerging, the Haqqani Network. The Inter-Services Intelligence Agency, Pakistan's intel team, is supporting the Haqqani Network's attacks against American, Afghan, and allied interests across Afghanistan.
Senator Kirk, thank you so much for joining us today. I want to ask you about the resolution now pending in the Senate, sponsored by Senators McCain and Kerry. It's bipartisan. A number of people have signed on, including you, that would authorize our military action in Libya. Why do you think that's the best step?
I think the action is already happening, and the U.S. military and our NATO allies are about to win. We even had intelligence on Friday that was published saying Gaddafi was thinking about fleeing Tripoli. That's a sign that the NATO alliance is about to win this conflict. Iran continues its pursuit of nuclear weapons as terrorists in Gaza and Lebanon threaten the security of our strongest ally in the Middle East. The United Nations independent nuclear watchdog concluded that the Islamic Republic of Iran is engaged in activities, quote, highly relevant to a nuclear weapons program. Efforts to build a warhead for Iran's Shahab-3 missile, a payload that the IAEA assesses would be a nuclear warhead. 92 senators, Republicans and Democrats, signed the Kirk-Schumer letter urging President Obama to impose crippling sanctions on Iran's central bank. I look forward to working with our senior senator, Senator Durbin, to ban sewage dumping in the Great Lakes.
We need to protect Lake Michigan, the crown jewel of our environment and the source of drinking water for millions. To keep you informed on the health of the lake, I'm publishing our first Lake Michigan report card. This report card assesses beach water quality, sewage pollution, mercury contamination, water levels, and invasive species of our lake.
We all know that 96% of all the fresh water in the United States is in the Great Lakes, and I am concerned that we store approximately 1,000 tons of highly radioactive spent nuclear fuel just 200 yards from the Lake Michigan shoreline at the now defunct Zion nuclear reactor. The government originally promised to take ownership of the waste and to find a permanent home, ideally in a remote, dry place far away from homes and above the water table, inside a desert mountain.
20 years ago, Congress selected Yucca Mountain as the permanent site to store our country's nuclear waste. Congress has already delayed the Yucca project over 20 years, costing taxpayers billions. Any proposal to stop Yucca Mountain proposes a clear and present danger to our nation's largest source of fresh water and a significant risk to our national security. In times of great uncertainty, we do need to come together, Republicans and Democrats and independents, to build consensus and find solutions and meaningfully improve the lives of the people that we represent.
Democratic Senator Joe Manchin and Illinois Republican Senator Mark Kirk, and the two of you share a position on the payroll tax.
They are the two senators from the president's home state of Illinois, newly elected Republican Mark Kirk and Democrat Dick Durbin.
Taking up the debate on the Veterans and Military Affairs Appropriations Bill for next fiscal year. Chairman Johnson and I have put together a completely bipartisan bill, which was unanimously supported by Republicans and Democrats in the Senate Appropriations Committee. For the Senate, my hope is that we return to our historical ways of operation, where 100 men and women who know each other quite well and are in the chamber an awful lot together always understand that in the end, the American people elected us to get something done.